February 27th, take off on the world's first hypersonic passenger plane.
Ignite rockets.
Torn from the Earth's atmosphere, the plane of the future is trapped in outer space. And the world watches as the Space Shuttle Columbia attempts an incredible rescue.
Don't be, please.
Lauren Hutton and Lee Majors, Starflight, the plane that couldn't land. And coming in March, ABC proudly presents Colleen McCullough's long-awaited best-selling novel, The Thornbirds, in the most memorable love story of our time. 10 unforgettable hours of destiny, desire, and denial. Christopher Plummer, Barbara Stanwyck, Rachel Ward, and Richard Chamberlain. The love that defied both heaven and earth. The Thornbirds. Tomorrow, it's a special night of stripes and stars.
Yeah, okay.
Twin Fonzie's drafted.
Let me tell you something, Tank Breath.
Happy days. And Laverne tries to get a monkey off her back in time to sing with the Spinners.
Thank you.
Laverne and Shirley.
Tomorrow.
Crime in America, an unprecedented examination.
How unstoppable is crime in America? As our new ABC News crime poll demonstrates, Americans worry a lot about crime. How about the cops and courts and prisons? And why do so many of our quick prescriptions for stopping crime turn out to be bad medicine?
For 2 weeks, ABC's World News Tonight and all other ABC News broadcasts will take a long, hard look at crime in America. Beginning next Monday, watch ABC's World News Tonight.
A verdict of not guilty is delivered in the Jimmy Chagra murder trial. Plus, the governor asked for $7 million to repair the state capitol following yesterday's fire. Please join us for these stories and all the day's news coming next.
Only Hertz gives you the best of both worlds. Not only do you get to choose from the most fantastic top-name gifts in the rent-a-car business, like a Cartier billfold, a Texas Instruments home computer, a Nikon camera, an RCA 19-inch color TV, and a whole lot more. But at the same time, you also earn points in the most fantastic travel awards program in the rent-a-car business. And now you have to June 30th to win both ways.
Today, take your first step into a bright new world of investment opportunity and financial security. Let Prudential Bache introduce you to Total Financial Planning, a lifetime strategy to properly place your investment assets for maximum returns. Total Financial Planning, the only sensible course of action for the uncertain 80s, and we offer it to you. Call us now. Prudential Bache Securities. Bring us your future.
Bring us your future.
Well, this 18-wheeler came a-bawling along down I-10 east of El Paso. The lady driver was cute, so we tailed that old brute till we noticed we was low on gas. So we coasted on into Phoenix, though we couldn't hardly manage a smile. At Phoenix, they're my kind of mighty fine, friendly folks smile at the country mile. At Phoenix, they're my kind of mighty fine, friendly folks.
They're my kind of folks at Phoenix.
Mickey Rooney and Ambush Bay at 11.
This is the News 8 Update. With Iola Johnson, Tracy Rowland, Troy Duncan with weather, and Carl Larkey on sports.
Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Iola Johnson has the night off. The man who allegedly masterminded the plot to assassinate federal judge John Wood was acquitted today in a Florida courtroom. Jimmy Chagra was found not guilty today by a Jacksonville jury. Channel 8's Bill Brown has the story tonight from the newsroom. Bill?
Tracy, that verdict of not guilty astounded a lot of people today. Tonight, it's still causing reverberations from Texas to Washington, D.C. After deliberating 19 hours, the jury in Jacksonville, Florida, found Jimmy Chagra not guilty of murder and conspiracy to murder federal judge John Wood. They convicted him of obstruction of justice and possession with intent to sell marijuana. It is a stunning blow to the U.S. Justice Department, which pulled out all the stops to get Wood's killers, spending $5 million on the FBI's investigation and $2 million more on 2 trials. The FBI always felt that Chagra had the judge killed to avoid a drug trial in his court and a possible life sentence. Last December, the man Chagra was said to have paid $250,000 to shoot Wood was convicted. So was his wife and Jimmy's wife, Elizabeth. After his victory today, Jimmy Chagra was happy, but still bitter.
I'm glad I'm in Jacksonville with 12 honest citizens. I'm glad I have a lawyer that will fight for me. And I'm glad that the truth will get out now that I'm innocent.
Have you talked to your wife? Jimmy, how do you feel about your brother now and his circumstances?
They forced my brother to lie. They forced him to lie.
Jimmy Chagra's brother Joe pleaded guilty earlier and helped put Charles Harrelson away for life. Joe got 10 years in a nice prison camp, but he did not have to testify against his brother. Today's verdict didn't surprise Joe's lawyer.
Well, I think this verdict proves that there is such a thing as a need for a change of venue.
What do you think made the difference in Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, a fair trial with a jury that was not under any, was not intimidated.
All the defense lawyers fought for trials outside San Antonio, where the assassination occurred and emotions ran high, but Judge William Sessions refused. Elizabeth Chagra's lawyer says the acquittal changes everything. Warren Burnett said tonight, "I'm not surprised at all. This just proves what can happen with a change of venue in a separate trial." This is what Elizabeth absolutely begged for, to be tried separately from Charles Harrelson. We are already working on our request for a new trial. But tonight, Jimmy Chagra is far from a free man. He's already doing 30 years without parole in prison on drug charges. He is expected to get 20 more years on today's convictions. So what we have tonight is the man who supposedly shot the judge found guilty, while the man who supposedly ordered him to do it is found not guilty. Tonight, Charles Harrelson's lawyer, Tom Sharp, told us from Colorado he has just found a new witness who he says can prove that the prosecution suppressed evidence in that trial. And Sharp filed a motion to dismiss the conviction. Sharp also says if that should fail, he too will ask for a new trial for Charles Harrelson. Tracy?
Thank you, Bill. 3 former air traffic controllers may soon be going to prison. 14 months ago, Gary Green, Harry Grant, and Ron May were all found guilty of striking against the U.S. government. And federal judge Eldon Mahon sentenced them to 3 months in prison. All 3 men were members of PATCO, the controllers' union, which staged an unsuccessful strike against the government in August of 1982. All 3 have appealed, but today their convictions were upheld by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans. So far, no date has been set for the men to start serving their prison terms. 1 week after independent truckers pulled their rigs off the nation's highways, there are reports the strike is dying. But not so, says the leader of the protest. Michael Parkhurst today insisted the shutdown is very much alive and that it will continue. But in most parts of the country, violence is down in the strike, and there has been little impact on food shipments. Markets in Florida say there is no trouble finding trucks. And in South Texas, trains are taking up any slack caused by the strike. However, produce prices have risen in some metropolitan areas where food distribution has been delayed. A Lancaster man who protested the strike by closing his truck stop for 3 days last week says not only did he lose money, he also lost customers. Some truckers didn't appreciate what he called his sign of solidarity. So now they say they'll buy their fuel somewhere else. Here's more tonight from Channel 8's Russ Mitchell.
Tonight, truckers can get all the fuel they want at the Dallas Truck Plaza. But last week, truck stop manager Dub Manis shut down the pumps for 3 days in honor of the independent truckers' strike. Many truckers applauded the gesture. Others weren't so happy. Truck stop manager Dub Manis.
I didn't mean to create any problems for some people, but I did.
The problems arose when truckers who were rolling last week wanted to buy fuel. Some had accounts with the Dallas Truck Plaza. When they discovered the pumps were closed, some said from now on they'll buy their gas somewhere else. Manis lost several $1,000s by shutting down last week. His business was the only truck stop in Texas to close in respect to the strike.
Do you still think you were right? Because we did something instead of doing nothing, yes, we were right.
Like many truck stops across the country, business here at the Dallas Truck Plaza is down by about 50%. It looks like that may last for a while. The president of the Independent Truckers Association announced today the strike would continue for at least another week. Russ Mitchell, Channel 8 News, Lancaster.
For truckers in the Northeast today, severe weather caused more trouble than the strike. New England was the hardest hit with 15 inches of snowfall in some areas. Some forecasters say it's the worst winter storm since the 1978 blizzard. Blowing snow slowed traffic to a crawl in New Hampshire and left many motorists stranded. Hundreds of schools were closed throughout the New England states. And in Boston, more than a foot of snow forced the closing of Logan International Airport. The truckers' strike will be the first challenge facing the country's new transportation secretary. In a White House ceremony, Elizabeth Dole was sworn into her new office by Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. And Mrs. Dole's mother held the family Bible for the historical occasion. Some men were allowed at the ceremony. President Reagan looked on, as did Mrs. Dole's husband, Kansas Senator Robert Dole. Meanwhile, in Austin, Texas Governor Mark White has asked the legislature for $7 million to repair damage caused by yesterday's fire at the Capitol. State senators returned to a cold and dark Senate chamber to survey the damage today. And as Channel 8's Carol Nealand reports, the lawmakers were shocked at what they saw.
Some senators were getting their first look at the damage done to the Capitol by Sunday's fire. They picked their way down charred hallways, around cleanup crews shoveling out rubble that had fallen from the ceilings, and avoiding other workers removing sooty valuables such as these antique chandeliers. For the most part, many were surprised at what little damage was done to those Senate offices fronting on those ruined hallways. It's the lack of telephones, lights, and heating that's forcing 9 senators to move out of their offices. The Senate is asking for $6 million to get started on restoration of the area, to return it to its original condition, preserving historical aspects of it, and maybe making it safer.
Well, you know, it was a tragedy. We had a loss of life, but it could have been a real disaster at another time, with a building full of people, that, you know, a fire that moved that swiftly. And I think we've got to be very careful that we do things right and we see it doesn't happen again.
Meanwhile, it was business as usual in the Senate, or at least close to usual. The dress code was relaxed to allow everyone to bundle up against the fierce cold in the unheated Senate chamber. By afternoon, those senators being evacuated from the Capitol were headed for the Sam Houston building nearby to check out their temporary accommodations.
I can see my other office, as a matter of fact. Well, this will be fine, I'm sure.
Carol Nealand, Channel 8 News in Austin.
Composer pianist Eubie Blake is 100 years old today, and to mark the occasion, hundreds of friends and fans turned out in New York to celebrate. At this New York church, young performers gave a special tribute to the man and his music. And at the Schubert Theater, Eubie's friends gathered for a private tribute. But Eubie himself could not attend. He did get an opportunity to listen in by telephone from his home, where he's suffering from pneumonia. Blake wrote almost 1,000 songs in many Broadway musicals. 2 years ago, he won the Medal of Freedom. So, congratulations tonight to Eubie Blake for providing nearly a century's worth of song. Still to come on tonight's update, new federal safety standards go into effect on over-the-counter drugs. Plus, investigators have uncovered a multi-million-dollar credit card scheme involving stolen Visa cards. And new murder charges are filed against a former Nazi Gestapo officer. Please stay with us.
Now that that's settled, all that's left to decide is which bank we'll vote.
Texas American Bank.
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 Then it's unanimous. My grandson will have his first savings account at the bank with whom we do all our corporate business, Texas American Bank.
Starting out in business? Start with us at your Texas American Bank. Let's talk business. Chanel, number 19. Witty. Chanel, number 19. Confident. Chanel, number 19. Devastatingly feminine. Number 19, the outspoken Chanel. Aren't you curious about a fragrance with that kind of style?
Your Dallas-Fort Worth Lincoln Mercury dealers challenge you to compare the 83 Mark 6 against 83 Cadillac Eldorado. Mark 6 has more standard features than Eldorado. Features like electronic instrument panel with message center, power vent windows, and tilt steering wheel. See your Dallas-Fort Worth Lincoln Mercury dealers, Holiday Fort Worth, Regency Dallas, North Hills Fort Worth, Eagle Dallas, W.O. Bankston Dallas. Take up the Lincoln Challenge. See your Dallas-Fort Worth Lincoln Mercury dealers at the Sign of the Cat.
The roses are red and they're made for lovers. Ice cream valentines in 31 flovers.
He spent all of his career trying to emerge from the shadow of his famous father. Hello, everyone. I'm David Sparks.
And I'm Lisa Gibbons. Coming up on our next PM Magazine, we'll visit with Frank Sinatra Jr. and find out about the special problems of having such a famous dad. Then we'll take you for a ride on the real Orient Express. It just might be the most romantic way in the world to travel.
Plus, we'll bring you the stars of Too Close for Comfort. That's all coming your way Tuesday at 6:30 right here on Channel 8. PM Magazine, please join us.
New government regulations went into effect today to prevent another incident such as the Tylenol poisonings. Effective immediately, all non-prescription liquid and capsule medicines must be placed in tamper-proof containers. The new packaging includes glued boxes, plastic bottle seals, foil packs, and pop-top cans. But the products may now be difficult to use, especially for the elderly and the handicapped. ABC News visited a nursing home today and asked some elderly residents to give the packages a try.
Perseverance. How can you get this? You're giving this isn't worth taking if you can't get it out.
The government and industry are now conducting a study on how to make the tamper-resistant drugs easier to open while keeping prices inexpensive. A nationwide credit card scam has found its way into Texas. Channel 8's Peter Van Sant reports that two women suspected of charging thousands of dollars worth of goods on stolen Visa cards have been arrested in Dallas.
Her name is Catherine Sample. Dallas investigators believe she's been illegally charging goods on stolen Visa credit cards to the tune of $60,000 a month. This is Gwendolyn Collins. She had recently used her stolen Visa cards to buy 3 mink coats. She's wearing one of them in this picture.
She shopped at the best stores and bought the best merchandise she could afford.
Bill Saunders says the problem started about 16 months ago when over 6,000 blank Visa cards were stolen in California. They were quickly sold to thieves across the country.
The people involved in this scheme have the capability of embossing these credit cards with any name or any number that they see fit.
Saunders says the thieves have someone on the